Good morning. You are right here on MMU Radio, and welcome to the heart of Africa, where vibrant cultures and diverse tapestry of people weave the very fabric of this continent. But behind the color and rhythm, a sobering challenge looms large: poverty and leadership crisis. Today, we'll be delving into the leadership imperative of addressing Africa's issues. Africa is indeed a continent known for its diversity, rich culture, and vibrant landscape, but it is also a place where millions are caught in a cycle of poverty. Poverty is a stark reality for many African families. For some, it means limited access to basic needs like food, clean water, and education. I am here with a young, influential African.
Starting for our leaders, we are not yet able to think about ourselves. We feel that we still need to depend from the Western country while we can still invest in our education. Education of the human being is the key word for Africans to develop first. But the problem, since we start conquering our independence, as Africans, we feel like we are still baby and we depend on our father. So I think the main reason why Africa is one of the poorest continents in the world is because the human being, the African, is not being educated.
Yet, there are many other patriotic Africans who believe in Africa and claims it is the hope of the world. Let us take a listen.
If you look at the rich Africa as, if you look at the minerals, all those things, like the future of the world is in Africa. You can just see recently one of the biggest men in America, he came to Angola. He even mentioned that Africa is like the hope of the world.
In a continent where over 60% of the population is under the age of 25, the youth are supposed to be the driving force behind the continent's future. These young leaders are not just the future, but they are the present change makers who can tackle the complex issues of poverty head on and to create a conducive space where dreams can thrive and living standard of everyone will be uplifted.
Africa's problem is a group of individuals right now, most of them in their 70s and 80s, who have refused to leave the stage. And you see it across the continent of Africa. You see it in Cameroon, you see it in Zimbabwe, you see it in countries such as Kenya, where you have individuals who have been on stage since the year dot, and they still want to dominate, to rule the roost. It is the duty of the young people to rise, and history has taught us that when young people rise and take their positions in different sectors, then they achieve. Look at the struggle for independence in Africa. The people who are in the struggle for independence were in their 20s and their 30s. The people who are in the revolutions, whether you are talking about the Sharpeville massacre in South Africa or the Soweto massacre, all these were young people. It is the young people who must rise up.
Looking around the world, we see a number of good young people who are driving positive change in their respective countries.
You go to countries, particularly in the Scandinavian countries, see what is happening in Sweden. Look at the age of people there, 40 in their leadership. Finland, 30s, Denmark, Norway, and they are men and women, young men and women. You listen to them, you see them, they are charged, they are switched on, they are good. But you come to Africa, octogenarians who can barely walk, who can stay awake for 10 minutes are the ones who are telling us about the future. They have one leg in the grave and one leg outside, and they don't want to leave the stage. They want to be pushed off the stage. Surely, how can a continent and a people be dragged down by such selfish individuals? The youth must move them out. In the Kiswahili word that Nyerere invented was kung'atuka, to leave office with dignity.
The narrative is changing. Some patriotic Africans are striving to empower their people, especially the young. Some are also trying in their own way to address poverty issues and pave way for a brighter future. Africa's path is challenging, but it is not insurmountable. It is a story of leadership and hope. Thank you for joining me today as we explore the leadership challenge of alleviating poverty in Africa. Remember, every step taken towards a prosperous Africa is a stride towards a brighter future. From Africa, the cradle of humanity, I am Michael Dubache.
Turuke kimasai, hakuna matata. Tucheze na mwomboko, hakuna matata. Tucheze kibaluya, hakuna matata. Tutikishe mabega, hakuna matata.